قال الله يملا العين ويحاول باشم يحاول شاه ما شياء وملاقي باشم هاو وافق قراش وراك الثumb water by the ball from Yashra. Double honor to the apostles, builders, and bishops of great millstone who teach us daily. To the man out there teaching the life wise doctrine in the city of Shalom. Today we're going to get into the governor of Florida has made this public statement that so-called quote unquote black people benefited from slavery. Can you believe the nuts on these people? I mean, the shit that come out their mouth, man, I don't think they think it through because this man is running a state. And then he announced he's running for president. So you're going to have a bigger fool in the White House than you got now. I mean, that's all they like up in the White House is fools because that's all the thing I see up in there. But, you know, Job chapter 9, verse 24, the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Comes the faces of the judges thereof, not where who is he. But this dude, man, he on one. I mean, Edomites, they say the wildest shit, you know, but all this stuff they saying is gonna come back on them. Now, all it is deflection. He trying to make slavery out to be a good thing, right? So let's get Isaiah chapter 5, verse 2. Isaiah chapter 5, verse 20. Woe unto them that call evil good and good evil, that put darkness for light and light for darkness, that put bitter for sweet and sweet for bitter. Trying to make slavery out to be like it's a good thing. What I want you to do, Ron DeSantis, keep that same energy when it come back around. Because Manifest Destiny got a part 2. It's like the elder always says. Now let's get into this video real quick. The name of this one is The Benefits of Slavery. Armageddon Update, Christopher Titus. Check it out.
I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Digging holes! Just when you think Ron DeSantis can't dig a bigger one, he calls in a Panama Canal-sized backhoe and just goes deeper.
Freedom lives here.
Ron, by the way, is the governor of arguably the most insane Mad Hatter state in America. This last week, the Florida Board of Education brought in a new curriculum on African American history, and this new standard says that black people benefited from slavery. Black people benefited from slavery? K. You mean like the Jews benefited from concentration camps where they benefited by learning to...
You mean Amalekites, and that was a staged event. It was not real. Let's continue. But I want to say this, why are they always thinking about us? Why they ain't messing with nobody else's history but ours? Because they know who we are. And they don't want us to get confident. They don't want us to believe in our Mashiach. They don't want us to believe in our power. Because why? They are the weaker vessel. And they're doing everything they can to make sure that the Israelites stay asleep. Now, one thing I've always known, once you start resorting to lies, you have realized that you have already lost. And that is your last resort. But it's like the Lord said, like the scripture says, rough paraphrase, there's nothing you can do against the truth, only for the truth. Now, them always changing our history, always talking about us, always thinking about us. That draws attention. Stupid. But Esau just thinks he could just lie his way out of anything and everything will be cool. Okay.
Concentrate. So let us figure out how black people benefited from slavery. Are you guys ready? Hi, right, kids. You've been taught so wrong for so long. Slavery was just a jobs program. Think of slavery as a 400-year unpaid apprenticeship with whipping, rape, and genocide. Slaves learned.
You heard that? Free, right? Let's get some scripture. Another reason why they're trying to change history is because everything they done in the past is becoming their shame. And all them pictures where they posing next to hanging bodies, their children and grandchildren are recognizing these people, and now they're ashamed. I mean, Ron DeSantis, he's even went as far as making a state law where you can't make an Edomite feel ashamed about their history, or else you facing jail time for making them feel ashamed about facts in history. See, that's weak. Let's get this Jeremiah chapter 22, verse 13. Woe unto him that buildeth his house by unrighteousness, and his chambers by wrong, that uses his neighbor's service without wages, and giveth him not for his work. Woe means destruction.
Valuable skills like how to be blacksmiths and how to grow crops. They also learned babysitting other children when their own children were sold off to another plantation where those children benefited also.
See? Fun skills, kids size, whipping, many rape, kids go to heaven too. See, they making light of it, see, but wait till it hits them. Psalm chapter 137, verse 8. O daughter of Babylon, who ought to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Verse 9. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Yeah, it's coming back. It's coming back round, baby.
And that's why African-American billionaires far outnumber the white ones. And those are the benefits of slavery.
This message brought to you by the Florida Board of Education and Governor Ron DeSantis.
The Florida Education Association, a statewide teachers union representing about 150,000 teachers, called the new standards a disservice to Florida students and are a big step backward for a state that has required teaching African American studies since 1994. A big step backwards for Florida, a state that's already in reverse with its gas pedal to the floor since this douchebag took over. Benefits of slavery. The press release said that Booker T. Washington benefited from slavery. Booker T. Washington was born in 1856. Slavery ended in 1865. He was 9. But what he learned in those 9 years of slavery led him become a leading African-American intellectual who also founded Tuskegee University and advised Presidents Theodore Roosevelt and William Howard Taft. I guess it was the Yale plantation. See, Florida says slavery wasn't so bad.
Benefits.
Slaves were just getting an inspirational seminar so they could be all they could be. And if they weren't inspired enough,
Benefits.
or they had to focus on learning while in a box in the warm sun.
Benefits.
The sun of the South.
In the hot box.
Oh, the slaves had it so good they learned not to read by being killed for learning to read. Oh, their cup overflows with benefits. Here are a few more benefits of slavery. Half of all slave infants died during their first year, which is twice the death rate of white babies. So with only half the kids, those benefit classes were kind of empty, and those kids had a lot of time to learn. The average life expectancy for an African slave was 22 years old compared to white benefactors who lived to 44. Yeah, us crackers live double. Life's hard. It was harder on us.
He's young, he's healthy, he's got a job, and he's got a country called America. It's a wonderful thing to have.
Benefits of slavery. Here are a few more points in Florida's new Black History curriculum. Instruction for students about several race massacres, including the 1921 bombing of Black Wall Street and the 1920 Ocoee Massacre, must include acts of violence perpetrated by African Americans. You know, gotta do both sides.
See how they so ashamed of their history, now they're trying to lie like we've been doing the same violence like they've been doing. Matter of fact, they're trying to equate the Israelites to the KKK. Name one person we have harmed. Are we? Now, if you read this, it says the burning of Black Wall Street revisited. Instruction must include acts of violence perpetrated against and by African Americans, but it's not limited to 1906 Atlanta race riot, 1919 DC race riot, 1920 what it is, Oklahoma Massacre, 1921 Tulsa Massacre, and the 1923 Rosewood Massacre. See what I'm saying? What other nationality, what other race has this happened to? I got another question for you. It was us. Who did all this? Edomites. Yeah, it was Edom all day. Matter of fact, in some of these massacres and bombings, the government was involved, the FBI was involved, and the United States military was involved. So yeah, it's coming back around. Let's go.
The Ocoee Massacre was an attempt by African Americans to exercise their legal and democratic right to vote.
My back is thick with scars of protesting our freedom.
And guess what? When they did that, 50 of them were murdered for voting. And no one got one of those stickers either. In the bombing of Black Wall Street in 1921, 1,000 Black-owned homes were burned to the ground because Black people were exceeding too much for these crackers. You know, the benefit.
Exactly. Sirach chapter 14, verse 8. The envious man hath a wicked eye. He turneth away his face and despises me. Yeah, these Edomites did not like the fact that Israelites were prospering. So they burnt it down. Matter of fact, in some instances, they actually took Israelites' homes. These houses were paid for. Israelites had the deed to their house. Esau don't care. He still took their house. As a matter of fact, a lot of police departments aided in this. So there was no justice. Esau was unfit to rule. He rules with emotion. That's an unfit, weak ruler. Every time we turn around, you in your feelings about something. Boy, stop. Proverbs chapter 21, verse 7. The robbery of the wicked shall destroy them because they refuse to do judgments. So if you refusing to do judgment, guess what, Esau? All your iniquity has stacked up into the heavens. So the Lord finna come through and do judgment.
Of slavery. The sign that commemorates the murder of Emmett Till has had to be replaced 4 times now because racists, I guess, hunt signs.
See, look, Esau cannot see past color because he's a carnal man. He's not a spiritual man. He does not know how to, what's the word? He doesn't know how to access people's spirit. He goes by what he sees. Color always confuses this man because as soon as he sees somebody of a different color, he gets real emotional, and that makes him dangerous. Because an emotional man, you might well put on a skirt, bro, because you're unpredictable, as history shows. Now, what's the cause of this? Shooting up a sign. See what I'm saying? But that's that perpetual hate Esau has for Israelites. He's not satisfied with blood, see? taking your life is not enough. Now he got to shoot up the memorial for you. See what I'm saying? No, he's an unfit ruler. He's a beast about to be put back in his cage.
They finally had to put up a bulletproof 500-pound sign. That's where we are in America. People are so racist that 68 years ago, a 14-year-old was murdered, and the woman that accused him recanted her lie in 2017 when she was 82, which is the...
And then she lied on the boy. See, that's America. And you Edomites, you kill me when you pretend that you don't acknowledge racism in this country. Y'all some very good actors, considering the fact that this country breeds racism.
The age Emmett Till would be this week. So those are some of the benefits of slavery and the history of being black in America. Thank God. Now that we know that there are benefits, it's going to be a lot easier to watch Insta when a cop releases a dog on a black man that already had his hand up and already surrendered.
Yeah, I saw that. This truck driver right here. And they got cops everywhere. But he had his hands up, and that Edomite cop still put that dog on that man. It's all coming back, though.
Hey, by the way, it's not an attack. It's snuggle time with an attacked dog. You know, benefits. Woo! I feel better already, don't you? I'm Christopher Titus, and this.
See how they make light of it? You know why? Because it hasn't happened to them. Not yet. Yeah, they making fun of our punishment. All of it coming from the Lord. But see that smile on his face? Even though he's speaking righteously, spiritually, he's still an Edomite because he's making so light of this situation.
This is the Armageddon update. Oh my God, the benefits of slavery. Oh, when you list it like that, I feel better about all of it. You know, all my white guilt is gone now that I know that slavery had been.
Heard him? He said all his white guilt is gone. Now let's get some scriptures. Let's go to the book of Jeremiah. Verse 30. Now, why would somebody feel guilty if they didn't have a reason to? See, they tell on themselves all the time. Jeremiah chapter 30, verse 16. Therefore, all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil meaning rob. And all that prey upon thee will I give thee for a prey. Verse 17. For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, because they call thee an outcast, saying, This is Zion, whom no man seeketh out. Verse 18. Thus saith the Lord, Behold, I will bring again the captivity of Jacob's tents, and have mercy on his dwelling places. And the city shall be built upon her own heap, and the palace shall remain after the manner thereof. So yeah, it's about to turn back around. Let's go to Proverbs. Chapter 11. Verse 21. Though join hand in hand, the wicked shall not be unpunished, but the seed of the righteous shall be delivered. Let's go to the book of James. Chapter 2, verse 13. For he shall have judgment without mercy, that hath showed no mercy, and mercy rejoiceth against judgment. Yeah, those who show no mercy shall have no mercy. Matter of fact, Edom is the only nation that's going to be rounded up and exterminated after 1,000 years of slavery. because of their unrighteous dealings and injuries gotten by deceit. The kingdom is translated from one people to another, roughly paraphrasing the scripture. Go to the book of 2 Thessalonians. Matter of fact, let's get that scripture first. I don't want to butcher it. I think it's Proverbs 29, I think, but we gonna get it. Oh, my bad. Salaki. It is the book of Sirach, chapter 10, verse 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches gotten by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one people to another. Verse 9. Why is earth and ashes proud? That's the Lord telling you that you still a man. You are born and you can die, and your body is still going back in the ground. You're nothing more. But Esau thinks he's a god because he has a god complex. Verse 9, why is earth and ashes proud? Now, who's more proud than the Edomite? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. Prime example of a covetous man, Bill Gates. This man buying up all the farmland, not because he's going to use it, because he doesn't want you to have it. Edomites think gain is next to godliness. They think the more shit they steal, the more of a God persona they have. No, it's totally opposite, bro. You the devil. Let's get it from the top. Sirach chapter 10, verse 9, why is earth and ashes proud? There is not a more wicked thing than a covetous man. For such an one setteth his own soul to sell. See? Because while he liveth, he casteth away his bowels. Esau worshiped money so much he'll sell his mom. All right, now let's go to 2 Thessalonians. Chapter 1. Chapter 1. And we're going to verse 6. Seeing it is a righteous thing with Yahweh to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you. Verse 7. And to you who are troubled, rest with us, when the Lord Yahweh shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels. Verse 8. And flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not Yahweh, and they obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahweh Shah. Verse 9, who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. Verse 10, when he shall come to be glorified with his saints, in his saints, and to be admired in all them that believe, because our testimony among you was believed in that day. Now let's go to the book of Ezekiel, chapter 3. Verse 18, when I said unto the wicked, thou shalt surely die, and thou givest him none, not warning, nor speaketh to warn the wicked from his wicked ways, to save his life. The same wicked man shall die in his iniquity, but his blood will I require at thine hand. Let's go to the book of Psalms, chapter 109. We can start at verse 1. To the chief musician, a psalm of David. Hold not thy peace, O Yahweh of my praise. Verse 2. For the mouth of the wicked and the mouth of the deceitful are opened against me. They have spoken against me with a lying tongue. Verse 3. They compasseth me also about also with words of hatred and fought against me without a cause. Verse 4. For my love they are my adversaries, but I give myself unto prayer. Verse 5. And they that have rewarded me evil for good and hatred for my love. See, it's like the elder said, our people, we try to get along in this country. We try to keep it peace. We fought wars for this country, but Esau still hates you. So what can you do about a person like that? Verse 6. Set thou a wicked man over him, and let Satan stand at his right hand. Verse 7. When he shall be judged, let him be condemned, that his prayer become sin. Verse 8. Let his days be few, and let another take his office. Verse 9. Let his children be fatherless, and his wife a widow. See, all these are curses that King David sending up for Esau. Verse 10. Let his children be continually vagabonds and beg. Let them seek their bread also out of their desolate places. Verse 11. Let the extortioner catch all that he hath, and let the stranger spoil his labors, or mean rob. Verse 12. Let there be none to extend mercy unto him, neither let there be any favor his fatherless to any to favor. Wait, neither let there be any to favor his fatherless children. Verse 13. Let his prosperity be cut off, and in the generation following, let their names be blotted out. Verse 14. Let the iniquity of his fathers be remembered with the Lord, and let not the sin of his mother be blotted out. Verse 15. Let him be before the Lord continually, that he may be cut off, that he may cut off the memory of them from the earth. See, y'all about to get rounded up and exterminated after your slavery of 1,000 years. Verse 16. Because that he remembered not to show mercy, but persecuted the poor and needy man, that he might even slay the broken in heart. Yeah, King David sending up curses, and they when he sent them curses up, they started to take shape now. Keep going. Ezekiel chapter 22, verse 29. The people of the land have used oppression and exercised robbery and have vexed the poor and needy, yet they have oppressed the stranger wrongfully. Job chapter 15, verse 35. They conceive mischief and bring forth vanity, and their belly prepareth mischief. Psalm chapter 37, verse 32. The wicked watcheth the righteous and seeketh to slay him for no reason. See, it's Esau being Esau. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 2. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Psalms chapter 58, verse 3. The wicked are estranged from the womb. They go astray as soon as they be born, speaking lies. And I heard listen to a video today And it says that the average American lies every 10 minutes. Sound about right. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 16. Thou art filled with shame for glory, drink thou also, and let thy foreskin be uncovered. The cup of the Lord's right hand shall be turned unto thee, and shameful spilling shall be on thy good. That's why they're trying to turn evil good and good evil, because they're ashamed of their past. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 2, behold, I have made thee small amongst the heathen, thou art greatly despised. Jeremiah chapter 49, verse 10, but I have made Esau bare, I have uncovered his secret place. He shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, his neighbor, and he is not, because he the one doing the spoiling. Remember, spoil means to rob. Luke chapter 8, verse 17, this is the red letter, so this is Yahweh Shai speaking. For nothing is secret, and shall not be made manifest, neither anything hid that shall not be known and come abroad. Isaiah chapter 26, verse 10. Let favor be shown to the wicked, yet he will not learn righteousness. In the land of uprightness will he deal unjustly, and will not behold the majesty of the Lord. See? He just won't do right. Just can't get right. Proverbs chapter 6, verse 16. These 6 things doth the Lord hate, yet 7 are an abomination. Verse 17, a proud look, a lying tongue, and hands to shed innocent blood. And Esau has all 3 of these characteristics. Sirach chapter 12, verse 10. Never trust thine enemy, for like his iron rusted, so is his wickedness. Proverbs chapter 14, verse 17. He that is angry dealeth foolishly, and a man of wicked devices is hated. Esau. Psalm chapter 31, verse 18. Let the lying lips be put to silence, which speak grievous things proudly and contemptuously against the righteous. Ron DeSantis. Lying lips. Deuteronomy chapter 32, verse 28. For they are a nation void of counsel, neither is there any understanding in them. Psalm chapter 52, verse 2. The tongue devises mischief like a sharp razor working deceitfully. Verse 3. Thou lovest evil more than good, and lying rather than you speak righteousness a lie. That ain't Esau. I don't know who he is. Proverbs chapter 13, verse 6. If he have need of thee, he will deceive thee, see, and smile upon thee and put thee in hope. He will speak thee fair and say, what wantest thou? See, try to offer the carrot before the stick. Psalm chapter 73, verse 12. Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. Slavery will benefit. Okay. Guess who about to benefit now? It's your turn. Keep that same energy. Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 12. Though a sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know it shall be well favored with them that fear Yahweh, which fear before them. Verse 13. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are the shadow, because he fear not before Yahweh. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 12. If a ruler hardens the lies, all his servants are wicked. That's the White House. That's the elites. That's these governors, these mayors, all of them. 2 Timothy chapter 3, verse 13. But evil men and seducers shall wax worse and worse, deceiving and being deceived. Think ain't that gonna happen to them? Remember, manifest destiny got a board too, so keep that same energy when the Lord forces you to drink your cup, because you got a double shot coming. Proverbs chapter 29, verse 27. An unjust man is an abomination to the just, and he that is upright in the way is an abomination to the wicked. That's why there's enmity between Jake and Esau. The Lord put it there. But it's true to Ron DeSantis. Try to see this. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 4. Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by his faith. Something wrong with that dude. Psalm chapter 55, verse 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but warmer than his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet they were drawn swords. So like, you cannot trust this man. As y'all about to find out, because you're about to throw a bunch of y'all in FEMA camps and put chips in your hand so the Lord can be justified to destroy you. Yeah, all this stuff y'all dished out. Matter of fact, for every drop of Israelite blood that was shedded, Esau, you got to shed 2 drops. Now, America is soaked. The soil is soaked with Israelite blood. So, yeah, y'all blood gonna run like the rivers. Psalm chapter 73, verse 5. They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Why? Because the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. Job chapter 9, verse 24. Verse 6. Therefore, pride compasseth them about as a chain, violence covered them as a garment. Everywhere they go, death follows, but nobody goes to jail. See, especially when they get in their feelings. Verse 7, their eyes stand out with fatness. They have more than their heart to wish. Verse 8, they are corrupt and speak wickedly concerning oppression. They speak loftily. Ron DeSantis. It wasn't that bad. Okay, keep that same energy, baby. Thank you, y'all. Okay. Psalm chapter 55, verse 20. He had put forth his hands against such as be at peace with him. He had broken his covenant. See, can't trust him. You don't even have to break the law for this man to come after you on some dumb shit. He can just, all it takes for him to get in his feelings, and that's it. That's why you got to go to emotion. Isaiah chapter 59, verse 7, their feet run to evil, and they make haste to shed innocent blood. Their thoughts are thoughts of iniquity. Waste and destruction are in their past. Did I not just say everywhere they go, somebody dies? Wherever they go, death and destruction follows. Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Is that not Esau? You made me shoot you. Shit like saying shit like that. No, you shot me because you wanted to shoot me. And they that seldom say, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Genesis chapter 9, verse 6. Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of Yahweh made he man. Yeah, it's coming back around. Numbers chapter 35, verse 19. The revenger of blood himself shall slay the murderer. When he meeteth him, he shall slay him. Numbers chapter 35, verse 21. For his enmity smite him with his hand, that he die. He that smote him shall surely be put to death, for he is a murderer. The revenger of blood shall slay the murderer. And you call it whatever you want. You call it collateral damage or all this other shit you pull out your ass, but the Lord still sees it as murder. And you will be judged accordingly. 2 Samuel chapter 4, verse 11. How much more when the wicked men have slain a righteous person in his house upon his bed? Shall I not therefore now require his blood of your hand and take you away from the earth? Yes. Psalm chapter 94, verse 21, they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous and condemn the innocent blood. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 11, if they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood, let us make privilege for the innocent without cause. Let's look at look at somebody to murder because you bold. You gotta go eat. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 16. For their feet run to evil and make haste to shed blood. See? Obadiah chapter 1, verse 15. For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen, as thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. Sirach chapter 27, verse 30. Malice and wrath, even these are abominations, and the sinful man shall have both. Let me see if I can find one more. We did this one. Sirach chapter 14, verse 7. And if he do it good, he do it unwillingly, and at the last he will declare his wickedness. Second Maccabees chapter 7, verse 31. And thou that has been the author of all mischief against the Hebrews shall not escape the hands of Yahweh. He's going to well. Let's go to the book of Ezekiel chapter 35. Verse 3. And I say unto, well, start at verse 2. Son of man, set thy face against Mount Seir and prophesy against it. Mount Seir, where Edomites used to live. Mount Seir, Mount Petra, that's where they're originally from. Verse 3. And say unto it, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, O Mount Seir, I am against thee, and I will stretch out mine hand against thee, and I will make thee most desolate. Verse 4, I will lay thy cities waste, and thou shalt be desolate, for thou shalt know that I am the Lord. Verse 5, because thou hast had perpetual hatred, and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, and the time that their calamity had an end. Verse 6, Therefore, as I live, saith the Lord Yahweh, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. Verse 7. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it, and pass it out, and him that returneth. Let me get that again. Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passes out, and him that returneth. Verse 8. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and thy hills and thy valleys and all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. Yeah, you got to get it, bro. Psalm chapter 2, verse 8, ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance. That's your reparation, Israel, right there. You're going to own these people. They're going to be possessions. Ask of me, and I will give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost part of the earth for thine possession. Verse 9, thou shalt break them with the rod of iron, thou shalt dash them in pieces as the potter's vessel. Revelation chapter 2, verse 26. And he that overcometh and keeps my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nation. Verse 27. And he shall rule them with the rod of iron, as the vessel of the potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received my Father. Psalm chapter 149, verse 6. That the high praise of Yahweh be in their mouth, and two-edged sword in their hand. Verse 7. To execute vengeance upon the heathen, and punishments upon the people. Verse 8. To bind their kings with chains, and their nobles with fetters of iron. Verse 9. To execute upon them the judgment written. This honor hath all his saints. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 21. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers, Edomites, that they do not rise nor possess the land, nor fill the face of the world with cities. So all this shit they did to us back in the day, slavery, their children don't have to pay for it if they're not back in the reincarnation already. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob and will yet choose Israel and set them in their own land. The strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob. Verse 2. And the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. This where y'all about to benefit from slavery. And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. You ready to get some of the benefits, DeSantis? Verse 3. And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear, and from thy hard bondage wherein thou was made to serve. Yeah, we at the end of our punishment. Esau, you was about to begin, baby. Now let's go to Ezekiel chapter 25. We begin this time. Yeah. Lord, pull up. Y'all benefits about to kick in. Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 12, my favorite. Thus said the Lord Yahweh, because that Edom had dealt against the house of Judah by taking vengeance and have greatly offended and revenged himself upon them. Verse 13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, will I also stretch out mine hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and they of the Don shall fall by the sword. Teman and the Don were cities, towns inhabited by Edomites. You are people before you are placed. This scripture is talking about Esau. Verse 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel, and they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury, and they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Yahweh. You can go down to 17. 15 is talking about the Africans. They're going to get it too. 11 is talking about Moab. 10 is talking about Ammonites, the Japanese. They're going to get it too. Check it out. Verse 10. I know this is off the subject, but the Ammonites are Japanese. Listen to their prophecy. Ezekiel chapter 25, verse 10. And to these men of the east with the Ammonites, and will give them in possession. So all the Japanese, they're going to be slaves too. Matter of fact, check it out. That the Ammonites may not be remembered amongst the nations. So either the Lord going to split them up to the point where they're not a nation, he's going to scatter them, or he's going to destroy them as a nation. Sucks to be you, Japan. Oh, verse 11 is better. And I will execute judgments upon Moab, and they shall know that I am the Lord. Chinese, y'all finna get it too. Because right now, that whole country is a big prison camp right now. Australia too. Verse 15, it's talking about the Hamites, Africans. Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, because the Philistines have dealt by revenge, and have taken vengeance with a despiteful heart to destroy it for the old hatred. Verse 16. Therefore, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, behold, I will stretch out mine hand upon the Philistines, and I will cut off the cherethims, and destroy the remnant of the sea coast. Verse 17. And I will execute great vengeance upon them with furious rebukes, and they shall fall, and they shall know that I am the Lord, when I shall lay my vengeance upon them. Now let's go to the book of Obadiah. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 16. As for ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, and you took advantage of the Israelites, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yeah, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. You about to go from class to the ashes, baby, and you ain't getting no lotion. Verse 17. But upon Mount Zion shall be deliverance, and there shall be holiness, and the house of Jacob shall possess their possessions. Everything you stole, you giving it up, coughing it up, baby. Verse 18. And the house of Jacob shall be a fire, and the house of Joseph a flame, and the house of Esau for stubble. And they shall kindle in them and devour them, and there shall not be any remaining of the house of Esau, for the Lord hath spoken it. So there you go, E. After you benefit in slavery, after you master your trade, your skills, you'll be rounded up and exterminated. And we're going to see how funny it is. Call Allah, Lahayina Yahweh, Bashim Yahweh Shah Mashiach, Wamalaki, Bashim Howard, Wakakorash, Baraka Thumb, the Wada Baba Kwam Yasharala. Shalom.